Pepsi versus Coke marketing. This story has 45 million views on X. It was posted only yesterday. I can't believe how viral this is going. In 1975, Pepsi and Coca-Cola went head-to-head in the greatest marketing battle in history. Pepsi ran shocking blind taste tests, showing people preferred the taste of Pepsi to Coke. But what Coca-Cola did in response nearly destroyed Coke forever. Here's the full story. This comes from Tim Carden on X, and it's a nice, short marketing story with some very valuable lessons. It started with Pepsi getting crushed. Coca-Cola's empire seemed untouchable. Their distribution was unbeatable. Their brand was everywhere. But Pepsi's marketing team noticed something interesting. When people couldn't see the labels, they actually preferred Pepsi's taste. Show them the Coca-Cola logo, though, they choose Coke every time. This small insight sparked an idea that would change everything. The Pepsi Challenge was born. Pepsi's team went to shopping malls across America. 2 unmarked cups, cameras rolling. Everyone could see what was happening when the labels disappeared. And the results shocked the nation. Pepsi was winning, and the numbers proved it. Their market share jumped from 6% to 14% whenever the challenge ran. People preferred the taste of Pepsi. By 1979, they'd closed the gap. Pepsi held 17.9% of the market to Coke's 23.9%. The giant was bleeding. For the first time ever, Coca-Cola looked vulnerable. So Coca-Cola's response? A devastating miscalculation. They ran their own taste tests, over 200,000 of them. The results confirmed their worst fear. People really did prefer Pepsi's sweeter taste. But what happened next was even more shocking. April 23, 1985, Coca-Cola announced they were changing their 99-year-old recipe. New Coke was born, and the public reaction was beyond anything they could have imagined. Here's a headline. The Coca-Cola Company took arguably the biggest risk in consumer goods history, announcing that it was changing the formula for the world's most popular soft drink and spawning consumer angst, the likes of which no business has ever seen. The phones at Coca-Cola exploded, 10,000 angry calls per day, up from their usual 400. One man, Gay Mullins, spent $100,000 of his own money to form the Old Soda Drinkers of America and organize protests. America wasn't just angry, they felt betrayed. Why? And now here's some differences in taste between New Coke and regular Coke. This is sweeter and smoother than regular Coke. The carbonation isn't as strong or sharp, which I like in a soda. It has more of a vanilla taste on the first sip and seems to have a smoother mouthfeel overall. It feels less punchy than regular Coke. It tastes like the gummy candies shaped like soda bottles. It's almost syrupy in a pleasant way. Just as bad as I remember. Feh. So here's what happened. Old Coke was more than just a drink. They'd bottled memories of first dates and family gatherings. Long summer afternoons and American tradition. People weren't just losing a taste, they were losing a part of themselves. Eventually, after 79 days of chaos, Coca-Cola admitted defeat. On July 11, 1985, Peter Jennings interrupted General Hospital to break the news. The old Coke was coming back as Coca-Cola Classic. Then something unexpected happened. The public forgave them instantly. Sales of Coca-Cola Classic exploded. The outcry had revealed something powerful. People didn't just like Coca-Cola, they loved it. They'd fight for it. The brand was stronger than the product itself. This changed marketing forever. Strong brands create emotional defenders. When people trust you, they forgive your mistakes. They choose you over competitors. I'll read this again. Strong brands create emotional defenders. When people trust you, they forgive your mistakes. They choose you over competitors. They become lifelong advocates. And here's what fascinates me the most. Today's brand battles look completely different. They're not won with TV ads or taste tests. They're won through authentic content and personal connection. KSI's energy drinks, Emma Chamberlain's coffee, the Kardashians' empire. The game has fundamentally changed. So, if you're a founder today, your personal brand is your Coca-Cola recipe. It's what makes you unique, what builds trust at scale. Your audience becomes your defenders, just like Coke's customers in 1985. Man, what a story. I made another podcast recently about a guy who made $500,000 in his first week of pre-sales selling an incomplete CSS course. He was upfront that the course was incomplete. He had been working on it for half a year. Everything that he put out for free on social media had a ton of thought and gave away a ton of value. He was an honest guy. So when he did this pre-sale for his incomplete course, he sold $500,000 in the first week. It was a week-long pre-sale, and this was 10x what he hoped to sell. He would be happy. He said he would have been happy if he'd sold $50,000 worth, but he sold $577,000 worth. And he had a strong brand where people trusted him. And he said, I deliberately didn't put out a cash grab product. I put out something that I could be proud of and something that would build even more trust in the brand that I had created. I just really resonate with that. I resonate with this whole story. I think it's such a good story and so many lessons learned. The brand is so important. How Pepsi got the market, how Coca-Cola messed up, how they came back, how people forgave them. So many lessons in this. This is a nice Sunday story. Again, shout out to Tim Carden for posting this. Oh, and I also want to mention why I think this has 45.4 million views so far, increasing super rapidly. Tim writes this he knows what he is doing with copywriting. Each paragraph is one sentence. The writing is punchy and clear. It is just as easy to read on a video like this as it is to read silently to yourself. And it sounds really good when you're reading it in a video. He also puts these little things throughout that get you to keep reading. Hooks basically throughout the text that get you to keep reading. So I'll give you some examples. What Coca-Cola did in response nearly destroyed Coke forever. That's right at the beginning, but it's still the third sentence in. Another, the results shocked the nation. Another, this small insight sparked an idea that would change everything. Actually, you know what he does? He puts these hooks at the end, so it's a thread on X. This is brilliant. This is a thread on X, and at the end of each post in the thread, he puts the hook. Here's the full story. That's at the end of the first post in the thread. Second post, but Pepsi's marketing team noticed something interesting, ... That's at the end of the second post. At the end of the third post, this small insight sparked an idea that would change everything, ... At the end of the fourth post, and the results shocked the nation. At the end of the fifth post, the giant was bleeding for the first time ever. Coca-Cola looked vulnerable, ... At the end of the sixth post, but what happened next was even more shocking. He does it at the end of each post. Oh man, this guy is brilliant. I want to see if he has any other bangers. He does. He has lots of hits. And he uses this formula in every thread. That's so dope. Oh, cool. Literally, as I read this, I learned how to write threads. You do short, punchy writing, single sentence paragraphs, and at the end of each post in a thread, you gotta get people to read the next post in the thread so you have a hook. That's freaking cool. And it reads super well on video too. Okay, that's all for episode, holy moly, 480 of my daily digital marketing podcasts. This is The Edward Show. I do this thing every day, 7 days a week. Thank you so much for watching. If you were watching on YouTube, thank you so much for listening. If you were listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.